Alright, now, the previous map was difficult. More than it needed to be for the first level in a biome. Featured several new mechanics. This level is one that I restarted because it was fun. I played through, and then played it again. So, my nest points going down due to the fire. You can't build up here. What you're supposed to do is save this for later, and then use these to build a forest. And the reason it's draining points is because it's an oil fire. And they're just like that. And then these are the eagle things that they liked. So, yeah. Also, there's a massive chasm, and in my first playthrough, I got to where you build the bridge, and I built it. And then I built it again, because it turns out you can do that. And the game doesn't stop you. You can just waste a ton of money for no good reason. Anyways, Research Center. Place that over there. What this does is it spawns in this little guy. He has a name. He's known here as Recycling Rover. However, that's not his name. Recycling Rover is a job description. This guy is Irwin, but spelled all sciencey. Now, these things, this little guy does need to drive. So, do help him out by placing down some assistance for his driving. Okay? So, make sure to do that. Make sure to help the little guy out. You may be wondering, what does he do? Well, he does that. It's really convenient. And so yeah, he does that. Also, you might notice there's actual asphalt that you can't build on. And you might be wondering, oh, why then in the city levels, why wasn't that there? Well, it's realistically, it's because those cities biomes would just not be possible if it was like that. Or also that this was just made afterwards. Like, this was made after they got the budget. So maybe, yeah, it wasn't a thing. Until they went back and added it. But the level design is set up to where it just wouldn't make sense to add. So they don't. I'm just going to test if I actually get the points. That's promising. So 973. Wait a minute. Oh. Oh. Wait. No way. No way. It gives you the points anyways? No way. It does that? Oh, okay. Well? Okay. Moving on, because that's a little bit broken, and I'm going to try and stop exploiting that now. In your playthrough, don't do that. No, don't do that. Preserve some fun. Don't do that. Okay, don't build this next to the fire. It will catch on fire if you build it too close. Because, yeah, it turns out fires do spread. Imagine that. Now, I don't remember if growing grass next to it causes the fire to spread, or just... Okay, it does. It does. Okay, yeah. Be careful to avoid that. That's bad. So, it does require a bit more thinking. Yeah, you see, I don't want to cause a fire. So, maybe I should work on some of these objectives, like lower the radiation. If that's not happening, I only have one of this little guy, and if I drive him away, it just goes back and ruins everything. So, that's not happening. And now it just looks ugly. Anyways, yeah, radiation, not happening. Temperature raise, that could happen. Hypothetically, if I was to place this down, would the fire give me temperature in such a way that it was worth bothering? No. No, it does not. Okay. I'll do it manually. And when I say manually, I do mean manually. Okay, what next? More temperature. More temperature. Okay. I have enough temperature for the misty clouds, for the rattlesnakes, for the anthills. Moths, I'll need to lower the temperature, but guess what? I have the tools. I can do that. Okay, next up. What do I need high temperature for? Swallows in the canyon. So, not really much of anything. It's kind of difficult to build here. Because I have to avoid the lava of doom. And then, yeah, can't build on the high ground. But oh well. Well, you can't build greenhouses on the very high ground. Oh well. I'll live. I will live. Now, it would be nice if I could get rid of pollution, but can't do it yet. Let's see. What if I spike it over and then I let the fire happen? Okay, there we go. There we go. I'm going to ignore this massive fire because now there's nothing I can do about it, and also I kind of need the arbitoriums anyways. So, tough luck. Anyways, Helio Cage. My job here is done. It is now safe to leave. Drive up the little ramp, and then head this way. Alright, that little bit isn't filled in, but oh well. Oh well. Is that really the important part? The objective is satisfied with just this much. So, just tactical bridge. Look at that. Swallows have begun nesting and water has returned to the gorge, but we are so high up, we can't see it. We just see the mist that comes up out of it. And then, I believe these won't catch fire. Last word said before someone caught fire, I know. And then, see the rocks appear. And now you don't see the rocks appear. Actually, wait. First. Oh! Oh! Well... that changes things. Interesting. I like that. Now, this is horribly, horribly point inefficient. But I just like how it looks filling in all the holes before I have access to my rain option. I just like filling in all the gaps. Although, yeah, the cacti objective, overfilled. Oh, massively overfilled. Okay, next up, rocky scrubland. Needs to be near cliffs, And guess what? I have those. There we go. Alright, let's just look at that. We've got a nice little mix. Got a little bit of... We've got a few cacti, and then we've got some prairie greenery, and then we've got a bit of rocky area near this big rock. It almost looks like I planned it. But I know I didn't. I was with you guys the whole time. Okay. Just a little bit more temperature. So, who wants to get sacrificed? Oh, no, that would kill them. Okay. Where's a good fire spot? Okay. Burn some of those. Cause cicadas to come back. Then... Well, I already have the 3 biomes I just need over here. Basically get rid of humidity and temperature. Okay, I can get rid of temperature. Basically, do the exact same thing as I did to get the temperature in the first place. Although, maybe that wasn't the best idea because it gets rid of misty clouds. And rattlesnakes. Maybe I should have waited on that. Maybe I should have waited on that. Was that really the best use of points? No. No, it was not. Okay. Okay, well, we all make mistakes in the heat of passion. Oftentimes, when I make mistakes, I just restart. This is not... The original playthrough of this map was not one of those. I actually did not make that mistake. I actually did quite well. But, yeah. Yeah, placing those down... not my smartest idea. Anyways, I will just focus on using the rover while that's happening. This little guy. Due to my efforts, there is plenty of these to go around. Now, most of... Yeah, I have plenty. Now, these aren't point efficient, but they get rid of all of the radiation. So, they do their job. They're not here for the points. They're here so I have one more stat to never worry about. Okay, water returns to the gorge because there is no more radiation, and also the swallows' nests. Alright, so if I were to nuke my temperature, I could get some moths. However, I want one more objective, the cicadas. Okay, now we have these cicadas. And there's the trees. Now, no, we don't need the trees. They're not a biome. They are a step into getting a biome. Just as long as I can do this without causing a fire. Then place down beehives. Also, cacti. We are marginalizing the heck out of these cacti. Okay. Overfulfilled. Overfulfilled. Okay. Next up, rocky scrubland. Just fill it in over here. This is easy to make points off of, so just fill it all in. As long as you aren't losing points. Well, not many. Okay. Now again, some unfavorable trades are going to have to happen simply because of the lava. Will I be able to make this work without causing a fire? Yes. Okay, good. Good. Ooh. A little more. Well, no time for hesitation. Okay. Do any of my remaining objectives require water? No, they don't. Oh, that just burned the one thing because there was no grass. Okay, just... Actually, no. No, save this. Save? Over here works, I guess. Just squeeze out some points. Because this fire does take away points, where other fires don't. I don't like that as much. But hey, what can I do? Right, Gale? Okay, yeah, the fire... Well... At least the trees were basically immune to fire. They've been burned enough. Okay, there we go. On to the next phase. So you see the bridge? I can't afford it. Sad truth. Out of the price tag. So, this little guy has a new button. Press the funny recycle button. Now, it might seem a little bit tedious to go around constantly pressing the buttons, but I need to afford the bridge somehow. Next up, lower humidity. Let's take a look at my tools. Dehumidifier or dehumidifier. I'm not sure why they gave me 2 dehumidifiers. Do they work differently? 5%? 5%. I am curious. But I'm going to use their incredible power for evil. And then I'm going to select my little guy and recycle them. And then I place down a greenhouse. And then I place another. And we get some ants in my shrubland. And then the little guy picks them back up. Little guy does what little guy wants. Oh, I seem to have picked up the research center. Oops. And now rattlesnakes have appeared in the cacti area. And now the humidity is low enough that it's time to start setting things on fire. Oops, I mean, I should not have done that. Oops, I mean, to start freezing things. Okay, that was a terrible thought. There we go. There we go. All of the objectives, and it just required me freezing the desert. And, well, I don't consider recycling cheese. So now that I have thoroughly controlled the environment with my operations, I've made it a little bit more chaotic, a little bit more fun. Because we could just have neat, orderly blobs of things. But we've added a little bit of chaos into the equation. I don't know. I think it's a little bit more fun this way. course, you could choose to leave all of your infrastructure like the solar panels in place. That way you can give animals more needs to help maneuver their spawns. But remember, the rain won't fill in these tiles if they're blocked. Remember how the rivers on that one map only froze over after the things that provided the river were removed. It's important. Now, the rains were necessary to the mist, I mean, to help me get up here. Because otherwise, it would just be blocked. And that's no good. Now, a side effect of my operations here is that, I mean, well, and in terms of recycling, is that these ramps can be used by animals to go up and down if they choose. Because they don't have to choose to do that. Oftentimes, it does not help. Their pathfinding completely ignores it. But hey, it's an option. And don't people like options? That and the sheer abundance of points are why I am placing down more than I need. So I will now park this near the last one. And I will place down this right next to it. That way, I can recycle both at the same time. And then to show you what I meant earlier, yeah, you could just throw away 300 points by building it again. I guess if you really like the animation. But now, let's start from the top. Wisp. It's peacock. Want sunflowers. It's what we've seen before with an animal. We've seen before do a little dirty joke there. And then the eagle, again, we saw in a previous mission, they want the butte because no skyscraper to perch on these. But honestly, I'm more likely to find them on accident with this 500 range, so it's not something I will deliberately take a photo of. Boars. These ones want cacti as their food item. Are these boars? Yes, they are boars. But it's a boring photo. It's still kind of a boring photo. Okay, okay, boars named forest that aren't actually in the forest, but are just next to the forest? Okay. Now everyone else is upset. The hyena is upset because there's not enough rocky scrubland. Must be built on a toxin scrubber. Okay. They need the boars and... Okay, they need prey and scrubland. Okay. Uh, okay, now they are happy. However, that will make them even happier. It still looks really weird. Okay, but where are the hyenas? Not enough cacti, yeah. True. Not enough cacti or rocky scrubland. Okay. Problem solved. Okay, we've got the prey, hanging out with the predator, and Edwin. Hooray. Okay, let's see. Oh yes, vulture. Okay, some recycling is about to happen. You can probably guess the way I'm going to resolve this one. Yep. Happy vultures. Angry Birds Redacted. A reference to how I'm pretty sure the original Angry Birds is no longer available. I'm pretty sure. If I'm remembering correctly. Wait, don't I already have a photo of... What am I missing? Hyena. Wait. Was Daniel not in the photo? That's his name, right, Daniel? That is the name we have assigned them, right? Right, Daniel? No, Dandelion. Dandelion. I'm calling him Daniel. Okay, and then we haven't had many shots with the forest, but it is a bit of chaotic forest, huh? Yeah. And then you might notice, the Dispensers of Doom. Yeah, you can't really see them anymore, can you? I'm actually sort of forgetting where they exactly were. Yeah, I'm forgetting. Got completely filled in. We Rocky Scrubland did it. Also, there is an achievement for taking one of these rocks, maneuvering it over onto this area, or one of these rocks. But I've done it with one of these. And then firing it across. Because you might notice, aside from climate stuff, there really is no need for the rocks. It's really optional. Like, none of this uses rocks. I could keep adding points for biodiversity, but I guess maybe to make this area have something more going on, but... I mean... This is where the buildings are. It only makes sense that there's slightly less going on over here. Plus it has dandelions. Nowhere else has dandelions. It also doesn't have forests because you just can't burn them out. But look, now it's going to have other types of flowers. Look, aren't those so cool? Because I hopped them across. Now I'm going to look, more flowers, more biome. If that looks goofy, can I get a photo of just that? It has no grade. It doesn't have a medal. Its points are garbage. But come on, look at this. Just look at this. It's funny. It's funny. Also, I like how it's grass of like actual grass from the first biome, because it is just straight up the first biome. Anyways, it's funny. I had to do it. I had to show them what's up. Just fill that in a little bit. I don't have to go over here. It is a flying ship. It can just go over to the little guy. But I should save effort on the part of the giant flying ship we built out of scrap. Wait, no, pick up the little guy. Pick up the little guy. I drove him over there for you to pick up. Okay, there we go. There we go. And there we go. We've got the massive forest, slightly smaller forests on the outskirts. We've got scrubland just sort of scattered everywhere. We've got cacti along the path here and just sort of in various corners. We've got a couple dandelions scattered everywhere, but not a whole lot. Mostly over here because they survived the incident where I set everything over here on fire and then froze it over and then set it on fire and then froze it over. Yeah, I do what I must because I can. Because someone has to.